Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to this premium review of the PV-2D Harpoon, and what a nice way to start off, isn't it? Yeah, we got that boat. This plane is very nice in realistic battle. I had some nice experiences in it, but I do have to admit you die pretty much every time. If there is a fighter on you, despite the defensive armament, you are a big target, and although the plane for a bomber is quite maneuverable, yeah, you just take the hits and often you go down. That's the way of it, but you can take a lot of planes with you, because this plane is pretty versatile. It's got nice offensive armament, it's got some good defensive turrets towards the rear. A sturdy frame, so I mean, to get you down they really have to work for it. It can take a lot of damage. And the top turret with the dual 50 cals can rotate completely, so it can also shoot forward, which is quite nice. Now the plane has a very nice cruising speed and a fantastic top speed. In a dive 600 kilometers an hour with a red line at about 603, and it doesn't immediately rip off anything either. You have to make some sort of hefty maneuver to rip them off, but I haven't managed to rip them off yet, and I managed to pull out of dives at 630, 635, and it hasn't lost any wings as of yet, so that's pretty good. It also has some good climb rate for a bomber, and the bomb load options are great with rockets and bombs, which is a nice combination. It does have some bad sides as well. The belly and the middle of the rear are a blind spot, so exactly in the middle, when they are hanging exactly on the same altitude as you behind you, the top turret can't reach them and the bottom turret can't reach them either, so you have a blind spot there towards the back. So you always want to be lower than the plane you're shooting at, then you're shooting at it with the dual 50 cals. And if they're below you, you're shooting with the dual 7 point something millimeter, which is a little bit less effective, of course. So yeah, the energy retention on the plane isn't too great either, so once you get out of that dive the planes will catch up with you. But like I said, if you're low to the ground and you can shoot with the dual 50 cals, you often either take them with you or you kill them and you can escape heavily damaged. So yeah, it isn't of course a plane that is very maneuverable as it is a bomber, but still, for a bomber it can turn pretty nicely, it rolls pretty nicely as well for a bomber, so there is that. But with any kind of single seat, single engine fighter, you can't outmaneuver those, they will stick to your ass, and yeah, you gotta use the gunners then. And to use the gunners you often want to be in a straight line, otherwise it is pretty dangerous. Either you crash into the ground or it's difficult to aim. But all in all it works, it is quite nice, and if you have a little bit of cover, then you can do massive amounts of damage in this plane to the ground targets and to the enemy team's tickets. Now here I'm trying some rockets on this boat, but yeah, doesn't seem to have too much effect. And we've got a tail, we've got a BF-109 F2 behind us. Let's see if we can shake him off. I actually was experimenting still with maneuvering. At this moment I was like, no, this plane is not very good in the vertical. As predictable, of course, you never know. Gotta try out the UFO capabilities of this plane. So let's use one of these turrets. This is the dual 50 cal shooting. We've got hits, we've got a crit and a fire, that's nice. Come on! Ah, damn, he got us. But we do take him with us, and that is very nice. We got a shit ton of ground targets though, and we've got part of a base and a kill, so that was a pretty good match for us. I did get some nice rewards for this. Here I wanted to take 2 at once, hoping to hit both wings, but you should go for the central section of those boats and you will pretty much always hit them. A little bit dangerous there. Yeah. Let's see, yeah, we catch another fire. Those 8 50 cals in the front, the offensive armament is quite nice. And they are spaced very close together. So you have a real beam of death, which is quite nice. You can take planes up from the front. Head-ons in this plane are pretty good, as you do have 2 pilots. And here we get buzzed by a 410, who more or less takes us out completely. We would not make it back to the airfield in this state, and we heavily damaged him as well with both of his engines smoking, but we didn't get nothing but hits, and we needed a fighter to come in to finish him off, and then we died. Going back to the airfield. Here we are followed by a Key 61 in a Japanese match. So here we go, let's see, he really wanted to follow us in the dive and he is hot for me. Let's see if we can get him. Come on, we're getting hits. You'll be doing a lot of this, by the way. A critical hit. No, no, you see, he was in the dead spot. We can't hit him there. That's the very annoying thing. You're shooting at somebody, you crit him, and he can't maneuver much anymore, it seems. So yeah, we're just gonna finish him off, that's fine. Like I said, this turret can rotate, so it has a large reach. And there he goes. Pretty good defensive top turret. And here we go into a second match against the Japanese. Okinawa, I believe, that map. And yeah, here I decided to not go into the fray and to go after the AI with the offensive guns, and that actually works pretty nice. I mean, most people will get this thing and will use it for the grind, and I'd say for the grind it's pretty nice. You can expand your forward facing guns to a certain point and keep a little bit of ammo for defensive flying or a head-on. Another one. These guys are diving, and I'm not gonna follow them all the way down, although I easily could, but I see several of my allies were in trouble as my team had been slaughtered a little bit. There's another B-34 there and an XP-55. Now the XP-55 on its own should be able to do a lot of damage, and we distracted this guy enough to make a turn and not follow the XP-55 any further. He is coming up for us though here. And I want to try a rocket run on him. Let's see if we're lucky. It's a little bit difficult, of course, with a 0. No. Unfortunately not. Maybe we should have saved them for the ground run that we're gonna do. Here the A6M is after the B-34. We're gonna try to get some guns on target, but it is almost impossible. Although the roll rate is pretty nice for a bomber against the 0, you can't roll with that. So I decided, yeah, enough playing around with this thing. There is no chance we're gonna get the forward-facing guns on a 0, or on any of these guys for that matter, unless it's in a head-on. You can use it very well though as a bomber deterrent when you are spawning as a bomber and there's other enemy bombers. You can use it to shoot them down, just like the rockets. You can use them as well on bombers, like you saw me do on the PV-2D, which can be very efficient, and especially if you practice it. Now I'm not a fantastic rocket user. I almost never take them on my planes because I feel they weigh my fighters down. But on an attacker, and if you get used to the aim and you play attackers or bombers a lot, then those things are fantastic. You can use 2 or 4 for one bomber you can take out another bomber, then you can use your forward facing guns. You then go drop your bombs somewhere and then you get back to the airfield if you can, if you haven't picked up any fighters. Here we go for our bombing run after we missed that guy who came up from the airfield. First one is a pillbox. Now in realistic the outward placed bombs drop with one click. So you drop 2000 kilos or pounds of bombs with one click, and then you have to open the bomb bay and then you drop the other two separately. So yeah, you only have 3 drops actually. So here we're trying to get as close to the water as possible, so that we cannot come into a situation where the guys following us will be lower than us or in that blind spot. So here we take over from the gunners and see if we can shoot this Zero down. The Zero of course doesn't have self-sealing fuel tanks. And we're getting hits in. Now let's hope for fire or something. That would be good. Haha! Yes! That's a Zero done. I've got several people up. I'm the last guy in the match. We've got several people coming for us. Here I'm trying to lower myself again to the deck, because that Corsair over there is definitely below me. He's been diving from a higher altitude and he's the only one who's got the speed right now. Others of course will eventually catch up to me. Let's see if we can get some shots in here. Hit. He's getting out of the way. Here we have the dead spot. Here we have the smaller caliber guns shooting at him, and he comes up through the dead spot again to the 50 cals. And unfortunately here we catch fire. We do get a crit in there. We shoot him on fire as well. Come on. Yes, we do get him as well. 2 kills there next to the ground targets and the AI planes. Makes for a pretty nice match in the end. Can't complain too much about that. And down we go into the drink. Hopefully the pilot survived. So let's see, we got 2 air targets and 6 AI planes, 43,000 Silver Lions and almost 3,000 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now the PV-2D Harpoon, what can I say about it? It's a little bit of a mixed bag for me. It has a lot of fun stuff attached to it. It's got great armament, forward facing, 50 cals, 8 of them. You've got your rockets, you've got your bombs. Fantastic. It's got good offensive armament, like I said, good defensive turrets. A sturdy frame with a top turret that can rotate completely. It's fantastic top speed with 600 and a red line somewhere around 605. It's got a good climb rate for a bomber and it's got great bomb load options. The downsides are of course with the belly is unprotected and you've got that rear tail blind spot over there in the back. You've got mediocre energy retention, so once you do get low down to the ground, you won't keep up that speed and fighters will catch up to you, and that will often result in a death. And the plane is maneuverable for a bomber, but it is not that maneuverable of course against fighters. So you will die often in the plane, especially in the American teams where you often lose, unfortunately. Once you get left alone, you will often die. Now usually, of course, as you know, I often do in the premium reviews, I often do AB as well. Well, I did a few AB matches where I got almost shot down by a friendly, who I then killed, but didn't proceed to have a good match. After that I had a match where I got swarmed, and the last match I had was this match where I got 3 air kills, 19 ground targets and 4 assists, and I did not die, which was a fantastic result, but I didn't record it. And I don't want to bore you with the replay because you don't get shown how things went quite accurately anyway. So I'm gonna skip that, but it was pretty nice in arcade if I think away that team kill or that potential team murderer and the time that I got swarmed. But yeah, the other match was good, and I think if you do it a lot you get more of these matches. So might be a very nice grind plane in the end in AB. But I like it in RB, although yeah, you do get killed a lot as well. Guys, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.